Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be going over creating and implementing training templates. And I'm going to start with a pretty basic one for this first part. So, this is going to be part one of a three-part series where I'm basically going through different avatar athletes or samples and just showing how I would create a template for these people and then how I might use that template. So, I'm just going to be actually laying out the templates themselves, showing really like how I would actually do it for an athlete, so that you can like mimic it and tailor it to have to whoever you need it to be tailored to. So this first athlete is just going to be a GPP athlete, general physical preparedness, so general fitness athlete. I'm going to throw some info up right here about them. So this person, they're 42 years old. This is just an avatar that I made up. They've been training functionally for 18 months, that should say. Um, so so it's a relatively short time that they've been training. And before that, they've been training for 8 years total. And before that, they were mainly doing like running and bodybuilding, like that kind of classic split that a lot of people are doing, where they've been working on like general fitness and cardio, combining that with traditional bodybuilding. So I'm going to pretend that I've already taken this athlete through my onboarding process and that I've gotten all the information from them that I need and that I've kind of distilled it. Obviously, this is a very basic one, and this whole idea is that this is just a rudimentary intro, and then we'll build upon it in the future parts. That's more of a complicated, realistic athlete. So, the goals of this athlete, they just want to be like, I'm distilling this down, but this person could have just said like they want to be a well-rounded, you know, athlete in this case, where they're not necessarily competing, but they still want to be well rounded as possible. They want to improve their foundational strength and they're trying to maintain their conditioning and their body composition as they go about that. So they've been working on their conditioning already. They want to lose that progress. So, and then we distilled that into their training priorities, which this cycle is going to be powerlifting, strict gymnastics, and overall conditioning. And then in practicality, they're going to go to the gym about 4 days per week. Thursdays are going to be the recovery days, and they're going to do that at home. And then Sunday is going to be a rest day where, once again, they don't go to the gym on those days. So, that being said, that's what we're going to anchor ourselves to. Let's get into the template. So, this is this week for this athlete. That's going to be the first week in there. This is going to be like a limiter phase for them, or like this particular phase in their training. You'll see I have 1, 2, 3 weeks in a row, and then they'll deload and then 1, 2, 3 weeks, and then they'll deload. So it's like 3 weeks on, 1 week off. That will be the structure. And then each week is where we're going to basically be creating the template up here and then using that to anchor ourselves as we're actually programming their individual days. So, for example, the first thing that I would do is going to figure out where we're going to put the powerlifting into this. So let's think about the movements that they're going. They're probably going to be doing some back squat. So it's nice to do that when you're fresh. So we'll probably do that on Monday. So we could squat. We'll say specifically back squat on Monday. And then we'll probably do that again Thursday. They have off. Let's do that again on Friday. Back squat again on Friday. All right. So there's those two. Deadlifting is going to be relatively taxing. You're not going to do that on the same days or maybe even back to back days. So I'd probably put that on something like maybe Wednesday. So like a deadlift progression on Wednesday might work well. And then if we think about what we got left, we want some upper body gymnastics. I'm going to pair that with my back squat. Tuesday, then it just makes more sense to do a conditioning based day. We'll make this erg based just for the joints to be feeling better. And then once again, Thursday will be like easy cyclical at home. And again, to make it really specific and easy for them, zone 0 to zone 1. So a really, below 70% of the max heart rate for sure. Probably in the neighborhood of like 50, 60% most of that time. Again, that's gonna be erg based. Let's say they have a ski or like an air bike and a rower at home. That works really well. And then Saturday, it could be like they still want to do touches of sport once in a while. So we might have them do like a Metcon on this day. And then, hmm, since we did that already, let's have them do some accessory work after that. So that could be things like, Russian kettlebell swings and dumbbell bench press, and just again, things that like maybe aren't the primary focus, but are super helpful to continue to focus on. We'll do strict pulling again. I want at least one more touch of that. And then we can go back to our info and just kind of double check to where we're at. So we've gotten some of the powerlifting. We've gotten deadlift once a week. We've gotten back squat twice a week. We haven't done any bench press. So let's throw that in here yet. So let's do that on the day that we deadlift. All right. So right there, that's a pretty solid session. And depending on how long this conditioning is on Tuesday, that could actually take up most of the time. And then, yeah, we have the strict gymnastics. We haven't done necessarily pressing gymnastics, but we're doing some bench press. So I think that accounts for some of that. We could do definitely some more midline, like core work, just foundational stuff. But overall, I think that we're addressing the foundational strength component. I think we're addressing maintaining the conditioning and the body comp through just the conditioning. And we're definitely addressing all of their priorities. So if we go back, is there anything else that we want to sprinkle in during this time? Again, Sunday's the rest day. That's going to take most of their time there. We might be able to fit in some like interval accessory type work here, where again, maybe it's an EMOM style where it's more so accessory movements. So it could be like an RDL at a tempo, or even like overhead dumbbell press at a tempo, things like that. Accessories. The conditioning, this is going to be the longer side this day, like longer intervals, or like a body weight based Metcon. And again, that's Metcon is like really general here. It's more so just like saying that we can throw some functional movements in there. And then on this day, we'll do some like body maintenance work where we could do some joint health and things like that. I don't want anything else. Maybe some mobility on this Thursday here. I probably would actually program that for them, but I probably won't today. Again, we have the back squat, strict pulling on that day. We could always add in something else on here, maybe some like higher power intervals. So for example, what I might mean by that is like maybe a burpee box jump over wall ball interval, where it's a little bit more lactic than some of the other days. It's a little bit shorter in time domain, a little bit more challenging. But yeah, still something that you're not extending too long where it becomes super neural and high CNS load, because they do have the Metcon the next day. So I don't want them to be drained. I would double check all of this and kind of see where things are, and really just see if that's hitting all the priorities again. Reiterate on that, and really be diligent on that, because I'm going to use this the entire cycle. So looking at this and say this is good to go, and I know it's good to go, then I would pull from it as I do my different days. So I'll just program one day so you get the idea, but I would do this for the entire week. So for example, I'm just going to program the strength work. Ideally, I would program all of the movement work, the preparatory work, the thermogenic warm up, the whole thing up into the actual back squat and all of that. But I'm going to skip that for now and just put in the actual strength. So this is not like necessarily an example of my programming. It's just an example of the template being used. So the actual back squat on this day, say we, this is like the start of the cycle. So we could say, back squat 5x5, where you start at, let's say, 65%. So start pretty light and building to a 5 RM. And that could just be used to actually establish the progression that we're going to use for the rest of the block. So based on the results from this particular day, I'm going to use that to actually program moving forward. Next, so that could be it right there. I might actually add some accessory in there as well later on. But since I have it, again, this is actually where the kind of art and science of it is, where I might deviate from that template and might not hold to it exactly some days, or other days I'm going to stick to it a whole lot closer. But then it would go into strict pulling. So let's just say it's a strict pull ups. And again, we'll keep this very basic for now. 3 sets of AMRAP -2. So 2 sets from failure, they're going to stop and they're going to rest 2 minutes between. And let's just say for this one up here, this would be like a full rest. Perfect. And then C would be like the interval piece. So let's go 5 rounds of quality here. 10 banded face pulls. 20-second hollow body hold. And a 30-second source and hold. So a source and hold is basically like you're holding yourself completely horizontal on the GHD in like one flat line, very similar like you're doing in a hollow body hold, except is the working the back half of the body instead of the front half of the body. So that would be October 26th, right? And then I'll continue to do that same exact thing through every single day of the week until I've completed their training week. And then again, so basically I'm just using the template as an anchor or as a thing that I can make sure that I'm staying on track and staying to the priorities and the things that we've outlined. However, it still allows for a variety week to week, a variety day to day, or piece to piece within their training. So, for example, that interval piece very well could be some like different movements completely. Like maybe it is even could be something as different as a air squat at a tempo, some like just movements that are completely different, like a handstand hold against the wall and a tabletop glute bridge. Like it could be completely different. However, that would still be accessory pieces or midline maintenance for them. So it allows for variety yet consistency, which is the name of the game for a lot of these functional athletes. So this is the most basic example that I can give initially, and then in the next 2 videos, I'm going to give more detailed explanations how you could use it, a bi-weekly template. So instead of just having a single week, how it could be an A week and a B week, how you could plan this for a competitor who is X number of weeks out from a competition, and they might be going through different phases of the training. And then, yeah, how you could do it for an athlete who has AM and PM sessions. So we're going to continue to build this out over time and get more specific to an actual competitive CrossFit athlete. For now, this is someone who's much more general, just because it's a really basic intro to templates and how you can use it to anchor your training and to stay diligent, but yet you can vary your training on a weekly basis. So hopefully this is helpful. This is our first one of 3. So make sure to check out videos 2 and 3 of this series. We'll see you next time.